All right, guys, here it is. This is the 1956 Chevrolet 3100 truck that I've been talking about. I say 3100. You see the emblem there on the fender. The 3100s were short wheelbase, half-ton trucks. The 3200 was a long wheelbase truck, and of course, she went on up. I think the 3600s were 3/4 ton long beds. But, of course, some of y'all could correct me on that. I don't know everything there is to know about these 55, 6, 7, 8, 9 trucks. Now, the reason I traded for the truck, it's had a lot of fab work done already. It don't look like much. I know most of y'all are sitting there thinking, what the hell did you do? But you know what? I love these old trucks, and they're high. Extremely high. Even just finding one sitting out in the woods somewhere with the original frame and stuff under it, they're costly. So, again, this one, I'm way ahead of the game. It's already got the Nova or Camaro subframe under the front. As you can see, 5-lug wheels. It's got 4-wheel disc brakes. It's got the NASCAR-style swing arm suspension in the back, adjustable coilovers in the rear, power disc brakes. These doors, actually, you can see I just kind of sprayed a partial can of coffee bean brown on this thing. That's kind of the color I'm thinking about going with it, with red interior. Hadn't really made my mind up yet. Still tossing some ideas around. But anyway, all the hard stuff on this truck's been done. I know it doesn't look like it. Now that seat, Tim just threw that seat in there for me to get home with. The truck came with a new Snowden seat that his wife is covering. It's a brand new seat, so she's putting it together. It's going to be red, and I'm sure it's going to turn out real nice. Tim put the steps in it and the cab corners. He done a jam-up job on that, as always. He touched up some places in the floor. The floor really wasn't rotted. It just had a couple little places that he fixed. It's got new door hinges. Those were costly. I actually bought those myself just because I knew we were going to be hanging these doors. These doors came off of a ton truck, and they were in exceptionally good shape for this year model door. I got these doors from Mr. PIB when I traded the Ruby truck for his 57 Chevrolet truck, Charlie. And one of my friends, me and Mr. PIB's friends, Daryl, bought that truck from me, and he still has it. He wanted to leave the truck as it was, and it actually worked out for me because I actually sold these doors to Tim. And then I got them back with the truck, as part of the trade. So it's got really good doors. All the rust has been fixed in the cab for the most part, with the exception of a few little spots that we'll get later after I get a few things done. You can see he filled in the filler neck hole for me. This thing's got a tank in the rear under the bed now. I'm going to change all that too. I'll explain that in a minute. It's already been LS swapped. So that's a big thing. I know some of you guys don't like the LS swaps. You want to see the old small blocks and shit in them. And I get that. I like the old small blocks too. But as far as reliability, power, fuel mileage, getting out of its own way, going up the interstate, this is the way to go. This is a 4.8 LS. Of course, I've got some straightening up to do. Some of the wires, I'm going to redo some of that. You can see I got a bungee strap on the battery. A lot of this stuff was makeshift just to get it home. I'm going to paint the firewall, paint the inner fenders. I got a lot to do. But again, the hard stuff is really over with. Kind of the excruciating, back-breaking stuff as far as sanding and trying to get some color on this thing, that's going to suck. But, I mean, other than that, again, it's got the subframe, it's got the swing arm suspension in the back, adjustable coilovers, LS, 4L60 overdrive transmission, and this little truck will fly for what it is. It would really surprise you. Tim also fixed some places in the hood. He bought new fenders for it, so I got a set of new fenders. We were going to fix these fenders, and he talked to me, and we decided on just getting some new fenders. It would be cost effective just to get new fenders. These needed a lot of work, so we've got those coming. Well, they're actually here. I just got to go pick them up. They're at Tim's. I've got some more fender emblems, so those will be gone. You can see I just stuck these in there for the video. These are like just an original chrome headlight bezel. I don't know that I'm going to use that. I am going to use this V8 hood emblem. I put that on here, and I bought that. So I'm going to put a little color in the bow tie and some black in these little areas. Bring some color back to it. It just depends on if I go patina or not. If I don't, I may have that replated and redone, and maybe even the headlight bezels. I could buy a new set, probably a little cheaper, then I can have those replated, but they're original. They're going to fit better. I've got a chrome grill. I've got a chrome bumper. It's laying in the bed. I bought new door handles. I just stuck those on there for now. Those will come back off at some point, but I got the little guards and stuff. I got to get some more screws for them. Screws that came with them kind of sucked, but I've got a lot of stuff for the truck. It's already got the aftermarket gauges and stuff for the LS motor. I've got to hook the speedometer up and a fuel gauge. That's what I was getting at. When I got the truck, it did not run good at all. The truck had sat for a long time. You've got to understand Tim. He's got a lot of projects and a lot of customers. So, you know, things kind of get pushed to the side sometimes. Same way with me. You know, I'll jump in something, you know, both feet first, and then, you know, other things come up and it kind of gets pushed to the side, and I lose interest. And not saying he lost interest in the truck. I don't know what the deal was, but he's got a lot going on and a lot to do. So the truck had sat for a while, and so I got it. We drained the gas out of it, the old gas, and I had put a fuel pump on it up at his place, and the truck still, like when you started it, it wanted to backfire and stuff and cut out, and then it would start idling pretty good. Of course, I think that was the computer kind of adjusting, compensating, you know, here and there. But anyway, it would start idling good, so I drove it home, and it run like crap. I didn't think I was going to make it home in the truck. Anyways, I did. Obviously, here it sits. But I got out the next day. I put 8 spark plugs in it, and that didn't help. I had 2 injectors that were dead, or stopped up, whatever. So I put 2 injectors in it, and it idled great. After that, it started good. It idled good. But still, when you gave it gas, it just wanted to you know, smother itself out and pop through the exhaust. And I kind of figured I had some stuck injectors. Anyway, that wasn't the case. And I ended up putting another fuel pump on it as well, and it started screaming just like the other one was. It's really loud. And typically when an electric fuel pump is screaming like that, it's starving for fuel or it's going bad, one of the two. So in this one's case, it was starving for fuel. The hose from the tank was just deteriorated on the inside, and it had stopped up. So that was my problem. I got that fixed. The truck runs great now. I've had a lot of guys on my videos. Please don't, well, I don't really care how you take it. They get down on me for lowering trucks. I don't really know why. I don't really give a damn, to be honest with you. It's my money. It's my truck. If you don't like it, hit the unsubscribe button. I'm not making a fortune off this YouTube channel. And to be honest with you, I do it for a friend of mine. So if you don't like the stuff I do, by all means, just unsubscribe and move on. I really couldn't care less. I don't know what people have against a lowered truck. You know, some people just don't like them, and hey, to each their own, that's fine. But don't start griping and complaining like I've ruined a truck, you know. I'm sorry if you've rode in something that you and your cousin cut the springs on 100 years ago and it rode like a log wagon. I guarantee you, jump in this truck, it rides and drives better than a 69 Nova. Of course, you've got a little added weight, and of course, that's going to help the ride. This thing rides and drives better than a Nova or Camaro. This is not a rough riding truck whatsoever. It rides really good and smooth. It rides and drives like a car. And if you wanted to, again, adjustable coilovers and stuff back here in the back, swing arm suspension, you could tow a trailer with this truck, and it's sitting on the ground like this. If you lower one right, it's fine. So anyway, let me get off that little rant. You see my chrome bumper there. I found that thing at a friend of my dad's. He had that, and I didn't give a lot of money for it. I got a pretty good deal in it, and you know, it'll work. I've got it. If I decide to go kind of patina with the truck, then I have a bumper. If I don't, then I have a bumper to hang on the wall. It really don't make any difference. I didn't give a lot for it. I also have 2 more rear fenders. As some of y'all might remember, I bought a trailer that was a cut down pickup truck long bed, and it had pretty good fenders on the back. Now these fenders are cool, and I'll tell you, Tim done a really good job recessing those 59 Cadillac tail lights. If you didn't know any better, you wouldn't know that had been added to the truck. I mean, it really looks good. He done a good job there. He's got holes cut in it here. This thing's got 3-inch stainless exhaust from the front to the back. The pieces of pipe were laying in the truck somewhere to finish that up. But again, I'm going to probably turn it out back here behind the wheel somewhere. So, you know, again, like I said earlier, to each their own. This was Tim's vision. I have my own vision. And I tell you, Tim builds some cool stuff. And I don't have a thing in the world against anything he's ever built. But like I said, some of us like different things. These are super cool fenders, and I hate to take them off the truck, but they've been widened a little bit, and I just kind of like an original look. This is super cool if you like the rat rodish, hot rod stuff, gassers even. I guess that would kind of fit into that category. Super cool fenders, and I'm not going to put them to waste. I'm going to make me a little trailer out of them because, again, I like them. They look really cool. I would just rather have original fenders on the truck. So we're going to put original fenders on it. Like I said, get some color on the truck. I'm going to try to get probably some torque thrust wheels. I ain't really made my mind up on that yet either. There's a few different sets. The big 20x10 steel wheels, I like those. Or maybe the torque thrust. Again, I've got a whole lot of ideas that I'm running through my head. I got a lot to do to the truck, but again, it's something new to play with. And if I need to get it out of the garage, I'll just simply start it up, pull it out of the garage. Matter of fact, let me start it for you. Sorry that I rambled on as long as I have. Old truck still stumbles around just a little bit, but like I said, it runs and drives great. When something has sat as long as this thing, especially with fuel injection, you run all that old garbage and stuff through the fuel rails, through the injectors, and it causes issues. So, that was another thing I was going to get to. You can see there it's really smoothing out now. The more you run something, typically the better it gets. So I'm going to change the fuel system on the truck. That's one thing I meant to tell y'all. And I'll do a video on that once I get started. It's got a kind of a custom tank under the bed, and it's got fuel injection clamps and hoses. And not a big fan of that with a high pressure system like this one. You know, the fuel injection clamps to me are for more like the throttle body stuff that you're looking, you know, maybe 12 to 15 pound of pressure. You know, this one here, when I put the Delco pump in it, it's going to be 90 to 100. And of course, I've got a regulator that's going to cut it back down to 58 pounds. Those are probably 42 pound injectors, something like that. But anyway, it's a lot of pressure, and I don't trust the clamps. I want the push lock and 6 fittings and stuff. It just makes me feel better about stuff, and a lot more comfortable as far as jumping in this thing and driving it to Pigeon Forge or Florida or wherever. That's another thing I like about these LSs and stuff. You could, you know, jump in this truck and drive it to the beach if you wanted to. Those small blocks, just don't trust them that well out on the interstate, stretching them out on the interstate and stuff like that, just twisting the guts out of them. This truck here, you're going to run 70, 75 miles an hour, probably 1,800 to 2,000 RPMs, and be comfortable in it. So anyway, redo the fuel system, get some color on it. I've got a glass kit for it, windshield, back glass, side glasses, vent windows. I've got a weather strip kit for it. So anyway, a whole lot of stuff to do to this truck, but you know what? It's in the dry. It's in the garage. You see it's raining. It's all it's done the last few days is rain, but the truck's home. It's in the dry. That's all I care. I can come out here and start it, play with it just a little bit, pick around here and there in the evenings, when I ain't got nothing else to do. But right now, I got to get back on this 66. I've got the motor sitting here in front of it. All I got to do is get the carburetor off, the radiator, fan shroud, and pull the motor out. It's ready to pull out. The transmission's out of it. The motor mounts are loose. And start taking this motor apart and this motor apart, get this motor cleaned up and painted. I'm going to use the oil pan gasket and stuff like that off this one, carburetor, distributor. I've bought another intake. Obviously, this intake will not work on this motor. You can argue with me all you want. Sure, you can hog that one out and put it on this motor, but it's going to leak. It's not going to work right. So we've got the I believe it's an 87 to 95 carbureted small block intake for this motor, and we're going to use that distributor, his exhaust manifolds, obviously the shroud and stuff. Probably going to try to use the front assembly off this motor. It's not going to be pretty, but he'll have an AC compressor and a power steering pump if he wants to put power steering on the truck. So whole lot of stuff to do still yet to this one. I've got to get this truck done. I've got to get it back to him, and we've got to put side trim on it. I've got a list a mile long that I've got to get done on this one, and then I'll get started on this one. Hopefully we can get that one maybe not done, but close to done by the rod run. Guys, I'm sorry I've rambled. This has turned into a long video. If you're still here, I really appreciate it, and we'll catch you on the next one. See you later.